Okay, it is Wednesday, August 14th. Time is 6:06. I call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. We have 3 members of the board here. Myself, Robert Jensen, Alfredo Suarez, Secretary Joao Pedreira, Treasurer, and a couple community members. So thank you for joining. That is points 1 and 2. Now I go to point 3, Treasurer's Report. I think it picks it up okay.
I'm not expecting these ones they would go, but I'm expecting the other ones.
Several points in the Treasury report. The first one is so we have received May and June financial statement that have been provided, which are, by the way, the first financial statements that we receive as a community, at least since I am a homeowner. So we received both May and June, the complete financial statements. And after a preliminary review from the treasurer, myself, I recommend to have a meeting with Enumerate, especially because there are some questions about the way they are doing the accounting on the interests, and also on the way they are calculating the maintenance costs, which, by the way, is not reserved for everything. So they're putting a lot of the things in the maintenance. We need to know the description of all of these things and the $30-something thousand that we paid for the flooding service pro, etc. They might be all there. That's inflationary a lot. So we are looking in the next steps is a recommendation for them. Now, the second point is very critical. So I have here the delinquent report from 13th of August of 2024. So it means that it's yesterday's delinquent report. And we can see that we have right now, we have 14 unit owners in arrears with an overall of 31,755. Half of this value in arrears is with 2 unit owners, which, by the way, they already received a prelim letter. And today our attorneys asked us to send the ledgers of these 2 unit owners. This is very relevant and very important. So these are already 2 unit owners that have been communicated several times, received several letters. And the next step is a very hard one, but we are needing to move. In terms of the 14 unit owners, we have several unit owners that have a balance over 90 days. So what I would recommend to the board, because some of them are closer to some members of this board, they already received the letters of notifying that they are in arrears, but we need to enter in contact with them because the same process that was followed for the 2 first unit owners with a prelim letter from our attorneys will be followed to all of the unit owners. So at the end of the day, I will send this to all my colleagues in the board. And I think like a couple of calls would be friendly to do so people avoid, especially because when the attorney sends their letters, there's a lot of costs associated with that. And at the end of the day, instead of owing a specific amount, people will start owing much more. And that's not what we want for this community. So to everybody that is present here, the special assessment and the maintenance fee is critical to be paid on time. And unfortunately, we are not seeing that in our monthly statements. And once again, now we have financial statements, and in the past we did not. Any question or comment about this first topic, which has to do with enumerate bookkeeping?
So you would like a meeting just so that we ask them exactly how they're processing maintenance and all that.
And I think there are two main recommendations that should be done, and I think this meeting should be with the board. Board wants to be present, because at the end of the day, there are costs that we incurred this year that had to do with invoices from last year, and also there are a breakdown of the maintenance is imperative, because some of them is going to be due to the flooding, which we create an assessment for that. And another thing was for the year's inspection. So if we put it in the right brackets, then we have the much more accurate numbers on our profit and loss statements. Okay. But
related to the financial statement that we received, what is the $98,000 for repairs compared to what we have on maintenance for budget of $50,000? So I didn't understand.
Okay, so Alfredo is asking what is the difference between the maintenance cost and the budgeted. I truly believe, because I don't see it anywhere else, that SERPRO, all the interventions on the roofs, etc., have been put in the maintenance. So that's why I was saying we need to have a meeting with them to understand all the topics they are putting there, and then to break down, because the maintenance values are not for sure the figure we have there. So that was exactly the point I was raising up, that right now we don't have flooding costs or 50-year certification or anything else related. We need to have it discriminated, and after having it discriminated, discussing with them how, two main things. First of all, put it in the right place. And the second thing is that I truly believe some of these costs have nothing to do with 2024. It has to do with 2023. And so at the end of the day, there were service provided in 2023. It should not be from the profit and loss of this year, but this will need to discuss with Vishnu. And that's why I'm proposing this meeting. And because we're going to discuss accounting initiatives, I would say it should be even inviting the members, the more involved they are, because we have to celebrate, we have financial statements that we can discuss, that we can rationalize. And then we
might say, well,
yeah. But in being clear, it allows us to put questions. For example, on May, there was a question because the income had a difference of $3,000. And I said, how is this possible? Because the income is only related with the maintenance fees. But on June, they already get it together. So exactly the income, because we don't have a variable income, is exactly what they put there. But I see the interest. Why do I see the interest? Because there's a cost called interest, which is the interest we are paying to Valley Bank. But these interests are being paid by the special assessment fees that people are paying monthly, though we don't call it interest. So I don't know how we're going to do it in terms of accounting. So I'm expecting Enumerate to tell us, because at the end of the day, if not, we're going to appear at the end of the year that we paid X amount of money in interest, and it looks that we didn't collect for those. We did collect for those. So at the end of the day, how can it appear in a clean way on Enumerate's profit and loss? So I think it's a normal thing. It's good that it's 6 months, because at the end of the day, it's half of the year. It's only 2 months with Enumerate, but they already have all the values before from Primex. So I believe it's the right moment. And I will systematize by the end of the report all the recommendations, but I will recommend that all the 5 of us are invited for this meeting. We're going to discuss our accounts. Let me tell you, is one of, if not the most important thing, is the resources we have. And with the financial resources is where we know what we have and what we don't have, what we can do and what we cannot do. So I would invite the members, and I would make it an official meeting where anybody could join in and make their questions. We're going to have our questions, but anybody would.
How time sensitive is it?
It's not such time sensitive, but I would say if we would schedule between next week and the other one, because at the end of the day, it's not going to change the money we have and the money we've paid. It's going to change probably, if we have the agreement from Enumerate, the way we are allocating some of those.
So delaying it until our next official meeting would be too long. If we asked them to Zoom and we just did it,
okay.
Would that be too long, or would it be better to have it?
We agree that I can make questions before and ask, for example, the description of what is in maintenance, the possibilities of how to calculate the interest and how to make the balance look like there's a match because all of us is paying interest within the special assessment fee. So yes, I think it.
And
it's
I'm not
that-
recommending that, but if we have a quorum, then we need to make it open to everyone.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to kill two birds with one stone.
I
But if we
agree,
do
I
it-
agree, I agree, I agree. The other topic, it's probably more for the attorneys, because one of the topics we need also to discuss with enumerate is about the delinquency. So what we are doing is a rigid process. We are sending letters. After a certain number of months, we send the letter from the attorneys. It's always a hard thing. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people over 90 days. But from these 8 people, we have 2 people that were already put in pre-lien. So, and the other ones is a very small amount. It's like 2 months of special assessment, $300, or 1 month of special assessment. So it's like a mismatch on the way people pay. So I think if we approach the owners, because if we put like $500 over 178, it's going to be a lot. So at the end of the day, I think we have to be conscious. The third one, no, we have a third problem that is arising, but I will ask you because it's a person close to you. So to have a conversation and say, okay, can you solve this? Because it's better to solve it now.
And I went into enumerate to look at that
Mhm.
particular one. I haven't spoken with that person yet, but just to get an understanding, and I wanted to ask you something on that. So I'll ask you
Okay.
later, because it looked like it was,
It is a month that is missing or 2, but they put it over 90, they should put it over 30, unless it has the coupon associated, and so they associate it with
Yeah.
30. We need to understand better. And that's why we need to have this interaction, and maybe I always copy everybody in the emails. I'll ask a lot of questions to Oscar, so we are provided all the information to take the decisions. Yeah, okay.
The second question I have is regarding on the assessment. What happened with the money of the people that paid?
Okay, so this is the second point. I have a point here, which is we need to decide to pay Valley Bank additional advance payments Leeward Point Association Condominium has received from owners regarding first special assessment.
Because I remember that
Yes.
we was having to say that it's better interest rate, it's better to keep our money.
Yeah, but
in our hands instead of paying.
But-
I needed to understand.
Yeah, and let's discuss these on the next steps, because this is a very important point. Because at the end of the day, or we put it in money market and we do a offset of the interest we are paying, but if it's only in the current account without any type of interest, we are losing money. But let me tell you, only now, after 2 months of enumerate, we have peace to start to organize the things. Until now, it's been quite chaotic. So we have now financial statements that allow us to say, look, and the other thing is that we asked for a loan for the second special assessment. We got this loan, and we got it over, a little bit over even from the budget we got from the contractor. And that gives us the freedom now, which is one of the points I'm going to mention here, is that we might put some of our money in a money market that still give us 325 right now, which means by the end of the year, if we put one, even if it's only $100,000, it will be more than $1,500. So at the end of the day, every penny counts to reward points. So, but I'll discuss this as next steps. Any other question?
No.
Perfect. Now, second special assessment loan status. So in August 5th, loan processing in Valley Bank system was completed and the line of credit was available for draws. After signing the contract with Roof Technologies and received their first invoice, Board of Directors has requested the first loan advance of 107 to 154.7, which has been made available and converted into the first contract check to be given to R&T by BOD President, which it was given this week. So the special assessment is working. Once again, nobody will pay the second special assessment until the line of credit converts into a loan. And this only happens by the end of the second part of the roof's renovation. So relatively to the second point, any question, any comments, second special assessment loan status?
no questions.
Okay. Now, third point, auditing process. So the president and the treasurer held a meeting with the auditor to review last date information request on August 9th. So we were starting to feel uncomfortable because we didn't have news from our auditing. There was a lot of excuses and sorries from the other side. And I think the process now is moving Very well. Following steps have been taken. So all the minutes of 2022 and 2023 have been shared with the auditor. The bank account statements from 2022, sorry, and 2023 have been shared with the auditor. Valley Bank loan documents were requested and have been shared with the auditor. All 2022 and 2023 minutes, this already said, escrow account transactions has been shared with the auditor. 2023 budget have been shared with the auditors. Now, I couldn't find the 2022 budget. So if any member of the BOD has the 2022 budget, I don't know if you have it. You don't have. I don't know if you can request to somebody that was in the board in 2022, maybe the treasurer,
Let me
Sylvia.
put a request out for the prior board, if they have the budget from 2022. If they could forward it to us, that would be greatly appreciated.
Other things, so we're gonna send, this was recommended by the auditor, we need the things that we ask for Primex at least 10 times without receiving. We need both capital projects, first of all, the electrical and the first part of the roofs. We need a copy of the signed contract, related bids, last certified payments, and all the invoices, both for 2022 and 2023. What was recommended is that we send a letter from our attorneys to both the entity that did the electrical panels and the entity that, which is Absolute Pro, that did the roofs, asking for this documentation. They are legally obliged to share with us these, and then we would give to the auditor. This is one of the critical points on the auditing of 2022, 2023. So for this, I do a motion. This involves cost because we're going to ask for the attorney to write down this letter for both of the contractors. So I do a motion to send this request to both. And I think it was, what is the name of the electrical panel company? It was the same one that we've been.
Is that Mega?
I think it's Mega Electric, I think. But we need to find out and send. So I do a motion to send the request of the auditor through our attorneys, both to Mega, if Mega is confirmed to be the one that did the electrical panels, and Absolute Pro.
Alfredo, did Mega do the electrical panels?
Okay, so to Mega and Absolute Pro, we would prepare the documents that were requested by the auditor, which by the way, we all have in our emails. And then we would send to Avi and Alexis, and they would send this. I believe it needs to be through a letter more than an email. Then we wait. Meanwhile, obviously, we are sharing all the documentation we have on our side, which is completely incomplete. So I do this motion.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, and I agree that we need it. Let's look at, let me go back.
To do a research on the GMA. Okay.
No, because what do we need exactly?
We need the contracts, we need the related bids. I have the related bids, for example, for the masters. I don't have the related bids for the initial roofs. The last certified payment to general contractor. So the certified payments description, all the invoices that were sent, because they need to match the evolution of the works with the payments that were done.
Okay. Yeah, I want us to work on the timing of our communication to Absolute Pro, not necessarily just this, but
Yeah.
everything else.
So we might, if the board agrees to make a research within the emails and the documents we have, etc. And I think there are at least 3 people that need to be involved in this research. One is you, Alfred, that you have probably a lot of documents. I do have a lot of documents, and you have a lot of documents also in the. So if we have this compromise, I take out my motion and we try to find those documents within our file folders.
Take a week or so to.
Okay. Do we have your agreement, Alfred, to look for documents, 2023 and 2023?
Send it to Rob, remember? I think I said it 2021, 2023.
Okay,
I see that I sent to you.
the what? The
The
budget, okay. And this now is the contracts, the biddings, etc., from the electrical panels and also from the roofs. Okay, so let's work on this next week and next week, and then we see. And so They don't need everything. If we get to 85, 90%, I think they're comfortable. Now, the other thing that we asked numerous times to Primex was the accounts payable aging report. The same one I have in front of me from May, from June, like we have right now from Enumerate. They were never being provided. I would send it again, okay? Just a last request. And now the other thing is that all the previous board members, and I send the list to this BOD, will receive a questionnaire for the auditing, meaning the board members which were 7 on 2022, also the board members which were 7 also during 2023, will receive a questionnaire. So I would make a motion that Robert sends from the Gmail. I'll prepare the email, the questionnaire for 2022 board members, also they will need to fulfill it and give it back to you, and then we give it to the auditor. So I would do a motion to send these questionnaires to all board members.
Second.
Perfect, thank you. Now, additional decisions that have been taken. So I have the list of which is going to be attached to these minutes to all the checks that were approved. And there was a check that had the duplication, which is the check 4541, which is the $500 to Carlos. And this check was void. And this is referred here in my report. So you're going to have all the checks that were passed in the last months of July. Following payments, point number 5, following payments that were waiting for additional information and clarifications have been requested and checks passed. NV5, Primex Management, and Tree Trimming Service. These were pending information in the last meeting. All of them were processed. They have been sent to all of them, depending on the quality of the service of USPS. They will be already receiving it or not. Any question before I go for the discussion and decision points?
No.
Okay. Now, to discuss and decide. So the first one had to be with the attorneys. We're going to wait 1 week, 1.5 weeks to see how much we can collect on our side. Decide to meet with Enumerate. I like your proposal. So we're going to collect all the information and then we can invite them for our next meeting. Decide who is the provider for, I'm sorry, probably because I was not during the last meeting when this report was read. I need to understand, do we need to pay anything for the maintenance of fire alarms? Did somebody came here? I don't know. What is the status? What is the company we are working with? Okay, so we're gonna put, but there's no payments, just for, there is a payment?
Update the license, and we need to actually pay another fee for. So I think this is all written.
Okay. So whenever the contract is signed, I need to understand what is the check that needs to be immediate. Okay, so, okay, perfect. Now, decide following steps to gather information data for the auditing process. We already did it. Now, decide to pay Valley Bank additional advance payments. So my idea was to ask Oscar, we already have an account with $80,000 where everybody's putting their special assessment. But in the past, there were several people that paid full, at least 2, into the operating account. So we're going to have probably close to $100,000 to pay part of the first special assessment. I know the interest rate is low, but somehow this is something we received every month from Valley Bank, which is how much you want to pay in advance. And right now we have the money stopped in a current account without any type of interest rate. So for not having a mismatch between the loan and the payments of the owners, I would recommend to put this money where it belongs, which is to pay the loan in advance. So it's not
The first
loan. Yes, the first one. Nobody's paying the second one. So the second one is now starting to accrue interest regarding the $107,000. That was the first check that was immediate.
I would probably concur with that on the basis of memories can fade, and if money just sits where it's not supposed to sit, sometimes it can be misconstrued in some other way. And so for that matter, I would say if someone paid in full or more than they should have for the first assessment, let's just put that there, even though the interest rate is low. Then our accounting is clean and each owner's account shows exactly where they're at and how that has filed.
Perfect, perfect. Do you agree? Okay.
Yes.
So thank you. So what I would do, I'll send an email to Oscar to do a status of who has paid in advance. I will deduct from those payments in advance all the capital from these 4 or 5 months. So we only pay the delta, we add it up and transfer everything to pay the loan. Okay, perfect. And now, finally point, decide to allocate funds in money market. Until now, only probably somebody that is not coming to our meetings or somebody that has been very disattentive. It's been that we've been managing probably more than 100 topics. So at the end of the day, now is the moment to talk about allocating funds to money markets. So right now, as we can see in our financial statement, even if there's like something happening in the next couple of months, I would say that I should do some calculations and allocate at least $100,000 more to money market. We already have 50-something thousand dollars there, and we would have 150. We would still have a margin of security in the operating account. And so my question to the board is, shall I, because it all takes time, it all takes work, shall I do the calculation they say and do my recommendation, and then I share with the board how much money I would recommend with always keeping a security margin, because right now we don't have any corrupt person doing any type of work in the community. So at the end of the day, it's easier to estimate what is going to happen in the near future. So
Yes.
I'll do the calculation. Perfect. And if it's even more than 100,000, we might even get 2,000 or 3,000 more of interest until the end of the year. So once again, I'm going to share with you this report, which is the delinquency. And what I would say is that let's contact special. You have one, but I have several here. I would ask Alan also to contact, and because some of the money, the values are very low, and some of them are in fact over 90, which that means that probably there was some coupons that people jumped. So it's not the 90, it's the 1 month. Okay, any question or comment from the people here or online?
No, thank you very much, Joel, for your treasurer report. We go to point number 4, insurance updates. Insurance, we were about to engage, this is for flood that has recently been renewed. We were about to engage in an appraisal before the prior president sent me the appraisal that was done back in October. So thank you, prior president, for sending that. We had the appraiser scheduled, and we were going to be carrying that out this week. But because that appraisal happened, we forwarded that to the new insurance agent. And then yesterday we paid the difference in the premiums, and the declaration pages have just been sent. And so what I will be doing is sending, with the board's approval, sending an email to the community with those declaration pages. There's a declaration page per building. And so I'll send all 4 declaration pages to the full community, and those who have mortgages and need to upload it into their mortgage bank system, then they have the appropriate documentation they need to do that. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay.
I have an update on the meeting we had with Valley Bank. So I sent you all an email because we were contacted by our account manager from Valley. It's Jeremy, no, what was the name? Gregory and Jaime. Yes.
Gregory and then Tyler or
Tyler. And so they asked to have a meeting to talk with us about insurances. To make it clear, so they provided an email with a lot of things like educational services, the Valley Bank relationship, price coverage. They say that we can have like a discount at least of $3,000 on the liability premium, which, because we share the code, that will save the association 25% on the liability cost. They might have premium finance rates lower than 7%, certificate of insurance review. So all of these was sent to you. They looked good, and we didn't have the most spectacular experience with this new agent. The only thing, and I told, and Robert was also with me in this meeting, I told them is that I was going to present this to the board because the only thing they require that is problematic, but we need to make a decision on that, is that if we would go to advance now with Valley Bank, we would need to change the agent. So we would need to get the agent from Alejandro and pass it to Valley. So open to discussion. I'm doing my part, which is we had a meeting with Valley. They looked professional, but I would say that the insurance, we will only know the true nature of the agent and the true nature of the insurance whenever we have a problem. That's the problem with insurance, and that was very clear when we saw our agent behaved accordingly to the pain we got from last year.
Yeah. Is there benefits risk by bundling all of this through Valley?
I'll tell you in my professional IT recommendations, I don't like to have a ton of things in the same farm. I like to diversify, but and to be frank, I think Alejandro was until now trying to commit. It was not a very nice story with the appraiser, and it came recommended. I think came from a good source of recommendation. So at the end of the day, I don't know.
I think it could be worthwhile having the conversation with Valley just to explore all our opportunities, all our options.
Now the next step would be to transfer the agent to them. To transfer, I would say it's more concentrating everything in Valley. So but at the same time, there's also positive points because at the end of the day, they are. So the benefits they presented is that we are able to rationalize the insurance revenue on future financial vehicles with the bank. Currently, you are paying an insurance agent. We can only provide insurance. So they say, okay, we can rationalize. But at the end of the day, we can always be in a problem whenever, imagine that somehow, let's look at this scenario, that Valley in the future wants to stretch our position in the loan. You might go for the loan part and say, we're not going to renew your loan because these and these, or the agent gets a problematic on that. Or 100%. So imagine that suddenly, because they are interested for us to be even over-insured, because at the end of the day, they have our loan. So in my perspective, and that's why I went to my professional area, I would not like to have it all in the same farm, but I will also have to admit it didn't came from my side, but this Alejandro didn't start with the right foot, for sure. So it was, and we realized this when we paid the insurance, and the lady on the other side said, "Oh, now you're missing this and this." Okay, this was not told with us before we paid. So that was not good. It's the same thing when I go to a store and suddenly I find out, oh no, it's not going to be 10, it's going to be, it's still less expensive than the other insurance, but it was not a nice surprise. So open to discussion. This is just my perspective. So the two that came, because I think one is yours, another one is Michael. So the other one was not even able to give us a proposal. And then Alan also contacted some agents that said they could not match the proposal we had. So at the end of the day, it's very hard for an agent to give us a proposal of insurance because we only got these. I know Alan got another one. So we went through these. The other lady was highly problematic. So and you saw the emails coming back and forth and asking for more and more. She asked for 10 times more things than this guy. And at the end of the day, she didn't even give us a price. So
I think we look at both Allen's because they're still
They're still, okay,
working, and we look at Valley and we look at Allen's and we sort of say, where do we feel most secure and financially, service-wise, et cetera, et cetera.
you know, you all have this email to see what the benefits that Valley presents, but I agree with that. Whenever we have the pool, we take the decision. Okay, perfect.
That's the insurance update. So yes, I will be sending the declaration pages all in one email to the whole community. If you need it for your particular mortgage, just be sure you select the document and they'll give a range of addresses. It won't list your specific address, but it will list the range of addresses for that building. So just find your address within that range, and then you know you have the right document to forward to your mortgage provider. That is point number 4. Point number 5 is credit card status.
So I can do a little bit of storyline here. So the first time we asked for a credit card, it was for Alfredo for the maintenance. I believe we've been working well with the current status, but then the Valley Bank didn't answer to your email. I did not know that they were not answering, etc. By the way, when I send now Gregory a new email, he said he cannot find the emails, etc. But I find this also. So I don't know what is the search engine is using. Meanwhile, Alan has a specific need, which is he needs to renew one of the contracts we have in online. Yeah. Yeah, and so for the online purchase, and by the way, one of the things, and you all received the report on the one that we need to send until Friday to the auditor. One of the things they ask is that, is there any credit card, etc. It's always a problematic area, the credit card. But I think if we limit it to only buying things online on recurrent business, I think it's a go. Now, I know that Alan, I didn't see that email, but Alan probably sent, because I got the answer, asking if the social security needs to be provided. And yes, they need to provide the social security, because whenever Alan calls the bank, because of anything that happens to the credit card, they will ask for the last 4 digits of the social security. So you will need to provide the social security, and I don't believe the system allows him only to put the last 4. So, and I don't know what Alan will decide about that, but we are not going to see the social security. It's going to send through a secure link to Valley, and Valley probably already knows all our social securities for now. So I don't know. So that is the status. We are just waiting to understand from Alan that he's going to provide or not the social security. And if the board agrees, then we have this credit card for paying online recurrent bills. So we avoid things that happened in the past, that we have personal emails or personal addresses in banks, etc. So we have everything in the name of the association and not individual.
But it is something
Yeah.
that the accountants should take care of.
The accountant? No, because the payment, you need to do the payment through a credit. Yeah.
It was for purchase, for online purchasing, which is, like.
It's a recurrent, I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's like a recurrent bill that needs to have our name and a credit card whenever it renews. I don't know if it's
Like Zoom.
like the Zoom account. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry, I don't
It is
remember.
something that you can preset on the scheduled payments with the accountant. I think it's so.
Even in the online, I can ask.
Yeah.
I can ask. Okay, so I can ask. So I don't know. I'll ask.
I guess it just depends if Alan wants to provide a social security number or not. If he doesn't want to provide a social security number, then there wouldn't be a credit card.
What I'm really saying is that instead of having a credit card, we can set with enumerate for them to
Like
pay
automatic payments.
an ACH or whatever. I don't know. Let me ask.
Because for the time being, we have less for this year.
Okay.
And I think I don't think it's worth it, because, like, who knows what's gonna happen, and more be the effort that we're gonna make than, the effectiveness.
Perfect.
If they can take care of it.
Okay.
It's not, I already, do it with my credit card, unfortunately, but I mean, that's the way it goes, and
Okay.
I hope that I have, enough credibility.
No, and I'll send an email to Oscar. I don't think it's, let's see. I'm saying,
I was actually feeling comfortable because I know that related to credit card, there is running of the credit report, which is something that they don't tell you, but it's gonna be implicit behind. And I wasn't really uncomfortable. And the social security also.
yeah,
I
okay.
don't
So
give,
let me ask Oscar, and if not, I don't know how we're gonna solve it, but okay, or, yep.
or we use his credit card in the meantime, and we do exactly the same.
He doesn't want to do it, so he had it in the past, he doesn't want to do it, but let's ask Oscar. I'm gonna send an email to Oscar, once again, copying everybody. Let's see if they can do any type of ACH to this company, which, no, it's a very small one. It's, from my understanding, was small, but I don't remember exactly what we are talking about, but I know it's, if it's not a Zoom or whatever, it's something like that. Okay, so I'll send an email to Oscar. Okay. Point number 6.
Point number 6, is updates on roof project. So as the board communicated, we signed the contract with RT Roof Technologies to be the roofer for this project for all of our buildings. They have, as Joel said, we paid the initial 10% upfront payment of the overall element. The things that we as board negotiated with them was, rather than just a straight 10% forward advance payment, 40% overall contract payment, 40% overall contract payment, and then last 10%, is that what we felt very strongly about was doing progress payments. So how it is now written in the contract is the 10% overall contract payment. That was the $107,000 that Joao referenced. That has been given to them. Then as they go through each element, so starting on buildings 2 and 3, there'll be a 40% payment for the specific element of building 2, which would be the flat roof. So 40% of the flat roof, then 40% after it's substantially finished. Then there would be the mansard that would be left, 40% to initiate the mansard, 40% upon substantial completion. And then that carries over. So what happens is we never get ahead of them on payments for work they have not yet done. This is important so that we always are keeping them hungry in the game to finish more, because otherwise they don't get another payment. And also that it does not put us at jeopardy of overextending ourselves to a situation where they could be disadvantageous to us. Furthermore, they are conducting all permit work, which does require a change of contractor with the city of North Miami Beach, and also a change of materials. So they are working on the permit aspect. That is their cost and their charge. In addition to that, they have a company coming hopefully next week. We're waiting on the final confirmation. There's a lot of loose rock and other debris up on the roofs. Also included within the cost of this overall project, a company will be coming in at some point next week. The board will communicate that. What that day will be, we hope it will be next week, but the company comes with the big truck machine, and it's basically a huge vacuum, and it sucks up all loose debris from the roofs. Why is this important? Because as they start cutting into the roof, if there's loose debris, that can send shrapnel onto the parking lot, into the cars, other areas. And so they are doing this very intentionally and very carefully to remove loose debris. What that will mean is that there'll be the necessity of cars being moved in order for this truck to go. We don't yet know exactly how that will look like. Again, we will communicate that. But that is going to happen roughly next week. So we will get that to you. They are moving forward on the engineering. We also had an engineer here that Alan brought that was looking at the enclosures. The engineer came one day together with the roofer to look at the enclosures. At that point, it was on building 3 to see how they are connected to the rest of the building. And they are putting forward their suggestions for how that can be legally fitted and brought together to the overall building and then thereby being permitted and legalized. Furthermore, they got confirmation, they have ordered the shingles and they've gone through their supplier and ordered other materials. So this roofer is going full speed ahead and looking into expedite the process in a quality, time, and financial aspect that remains true to our original intentions. I will say that's it on the roof project. I see there's a point later on in terms of the roofing materials in the parking area. So let's, unless there's any other discussion on point 6, then we go to point 7, absolute pro lawsuit discussion and alignment of next steps.
I asked Alfredo to put this point because we have received an email that I forward once again to the board from our attorneys. And this email talks about the strategy to follow. So what I would recommend is that we read within the next days this document, and then we set the meeting with the attorneys. No more details to be shared here. This is a very important legal suit. So I would just recommend that we set a timeline, we compromise to read, and then we go to a meeting with the attorneys to advance. So what would be the timeline that is suitable?
So for Wednesday, if the board can read that letter and document from the attorneys by the end of this week, I'll reach out to them and set up a closed meeting with the attorneys, hopefully beginning next week.
Second that, or favor, this is gonna happen next Wednesday, like next Wednesday, just to be ahead and to
No, I think
coordinate.
if we read it until Friday, it might be Monday or Tuesday. The meeting with the, so if we read what Alexis sent, we might sit down with the attorneys between Monday and Tuesday. Why are you mentioning Wednesday?
No, okay, you know, give us an extra time in case that's.
Oh, okay.
Nice to, like,
Okay, okay.
I can coordinate with you guys, so to have the time for publication.
Publication, yeah. Okay, so if we just say,
So let me ask for Thursday, Wednesday, I'm back to back. So Thursday would be my.
Thursday, the 22nd,
Yes.
that work for you, Alfredo? And then, so I'll send that email to them to already schedule that. And then I'll send an email to the board. By the way, for the record, Diana is on the meeting. She is online.
Thank you.
So I'll send the email to the board. I'll find the document so we're not all searching for it, just attach it to that email and say, here's the document. Let's read this by the end of this week or weekend, and then I'll already organize the meeting with the attorney for next Thursday. Diana, does next Thursday work for you?
Yes, sounds fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Next Thursday, and I won't add any details to what Joel said, but since there are different members of the community online, where there were questions, if there is anything happening, obviously, if you don't see the emails, you may not know that there is something happening, but we are talking with our lawyers and figuring out the strategy and process to go forward in terms of Absolute Pro. So that is being managed and looked at and pushed forward in a way that hopefully serves the whole community in the best possible way. Next point is point 8, update on roofing materials and parking area. So I'll start it off and then I'll go to the rest of the board. One of the things that we discussed in our last board meeting is the necessity of our attempting to try to sell whatever materials we can sell to recoup some of the investment from the stuff that has been sitting out here roughly a year and a half. We looked at a couple different things that we were going to try to do, that being eBay or other things. A couple of the hurdles that we did run into is that it would, one of the person's account would be linked to their business account, and then therefore taxation on that if it did sell, and that created some muddy waters. And so we are re-navigating that. There was an individual that Alfredo spoke with a month ago, give or take, that offered to buy the actual TPO wraps, right?
Yes.
And so one of the latest things that I saw in our email exchanges from Alan is to see if we go back to that gentleman and see if you would buy those and then take everything else. I don't have,
Just remind me, why didn't we follow the plan of the eBay and the Craigslist?
because, well, the eBay was linked to someone's business account, and therefore if it sold, that would be a taxation. It would be revenue on that person's business account.
Could we create a Leeward point account to do that? Because we have a Leeward point at gmail.com.
We could try that.
Then we put it. I just think that after we decide one thing, I don't like when we go back. I mean, so I think at least
I already explored the possibility, so he said that he's not interested because it's gonna take more time consuming and more labor for him. It's more expenditures that he needs to bring, you know, like a big 4 leaf and so forth. So he say it's not worth it because where he's gonna put it. So
Okay, so
he
that's
actually
not an
was
option.
clear, it's not an option.
Okay.
so we sell property.
He was only interested on the PVC, on the rolls, because that's the most valuable thing material. So the foam, he said that it's not going to have any use, and even for disposal. So he needs to bring somebody who have the machinery, and that will cost money. So I say, for the money I'm gonna pay, so it's not gonna be business.
So can I do a recommendation that you create the Leeward point at Gmail, on eBay, Craigslist, a couple of photos? We tried it for free.
The only thing for that is that has to be remain for a long time. And I think that we need to actually have this material, you know, out of the parking lot as soon as possible. So how long are we gonna, you know, like set the terms? November? So because
1 week, I would say 1 week to put it out there, just to understand if somebody could be interested. So imagine that somebody is doing a dual last. I don't know. That was what you agreed. It was like 1 week, 1.5 weeks. Put it And then
The other idea is okay. I think, we probably can move on with that, but the time and the terms, to keep the material, because most of the material, they basically say that they are pretty much disposal except for the PVC. So if that is the case, and if we can experience online that is no moving, so in 2 months' time, we say, okay, so then we need to prepare, plan B in order to dispose the material.
say the 2 months, I would say 2 weeks, like 2 weeks, put it online, and then, because it will cost us still a lot just to dispose of things into.
And I think we said initially, the last time, by the end of August. So if we push it out as soon as possible and see if anyone is interested in that, then we win.
Then
If not, then to your point, Alfredo, there's the plan B of,
so it needs to be somebody from leeward@gmail.com.
so it'd be me or Alan. Alan's away. I'll see if I can set up an eBay account tonight.
Craigslist.
I've never worked with Craigslist. I have no idea. I don't know if it's easy or hard. But I'll look at it. I can't promise that I'll have that built. I don't know what's needed, but if it is easy, then I'll create the account. Point number 9. Well, let me just finalize point number 8 in terms of expectation. How do we define a win? That someone comes and takes it all no matter the cost? Is it, or are we looking to gain as much money as possible? Ideally, yes, right? Yes.
I would say that the base would be 0, so just getting rid of these, it's like our base. Anything above will be a win.
Okay.
So, and I know that eBay you can even do. I don't think a lot of people will be bidding on these, but I don't know. This was sound like the best product in the last hundreds of years in roofs. And the company said it was good. It's thanks.
Okay, good. Number 9, landscape contractor.
For the record, I was able to bring a store service and maintenance to come to terms for fitting up for Herbert's position while he is on medical leave. I don't know if you already, saw the email today. I basically am waiting for Friday, which is going to be the time where he's going to be the final prognosis, the final diagnostic, and then he's going to go under surgery. For now, the doctor, from what I translate, they actually recommend to have full rest, no weight lift. He cannot actually lift anything more than 20 pounds because of the situation that he had. Now the infection is already controlled, so they were waiting for that in order to proceed to take it out. So that is going to happen on Friday. So he's scheduled to be taken to Jackson to get into the CT scan, and they're going to give them the proposal. In my experience, from what I've been, seeing, is the doctor will schedule an appointment with him, and sometimes the operation tables are busy. So maybe it would probably take like a couple of weeks as a most. I don't know exactly how it's going to be working with his insurance, his social Medicaid. So for that, I think that we need to take a contingency plan, and I think that he probably will be out of working for about 3 to 4 weeks. So for that situation, I bring this company which used to work with us on doing all the planning for the clubhouse, and they did a good job. And they were also willing to help us because most of the contractors that I actually request, they only do a contract for 1 year in order to get the service. So they were able, since they know us, they were able to actually give us, like a break of 1 month, 4 times a week. And they're expecting, like make some business with us in the future. But he's doing just out of courtesy because they basically do 1 year contract. So
That was 1 month, 1 time a week,
Yeah.
3 people each
three
time.
people, yes, and the cost is basically $375. So for 3 persons that are working once a week, I think it's pretty good. So in the meantime, while Heber is recuperating per day, yes. It's $1,500. So yeah, we pay basically $1,000 to Heber, but he comes, he's only 1 person and he comes twice a week and basically about the same, because the average, the standard, well, this is because they know us and they want to work with us. So he actually lowered because it was $1,800. So I was able to bring it down to $1,500. So it's $375, which makes sense for a day of doing the whole thing, cleaning, vacuum, all the parking. Plus, I don't know if you saw that, they actually are able to work with the chemical or pesticides on the grass, which is, we hire a different company, which I don't know exactly, what is the term, because the guy is still waiting for our approval. And it was about like $1,400 3 times a year. So we don't have that right now. We haven't had the pesticide people, and he's willing to do that because when he came here on Monday and look at the whole property and say, there's some weeks that, you need to keep control. So for that, I believe this is a good deal and can help us, navigate it through the time that Heber is going to be out. So there's not going to be much less. So the other thing that I understood is that we need to actually, work something with Heber. So I don't know exactly how you guys feel comfortable. He's been working with us for more than 30 years. So right now he's having a really difficult position. And I don't know if we are going to, like honor and pay the time he's going to be,
I think we agreed to
outside.
that, right?
But I didn't see that. I didn't hear that. Okay. I didn't read because I was away.
And the proposal was to maintain the payments to Ever.
Okay.
And after having the approval, I think it was 4. I even said to Ever, we're gonna cover it. He was very, very grateful.
No, I think that he deserves it, and I actually agree on that. I didn't read that email because I was away, and I tried many ways. I even actually asked him for his friend. He has 2 friends, and neither of them were able to help him because, hey, if you have somebody who can help you, I'm open. So I cannot leave the condominium, without maintenance. And we still now seeing, like now it needs it. So they are waiting for us. So if we say yes, they can start on Monday at the regular time.
Will they, this is the foreshadowing just to a future point, but will they need education on what to do, what not to do?
No, they know the companies, they know the whole community. And I already on Monday, I given the whole brief. I told him exactly what to do with the grass, how he can cut the grass, all the shrubs, what shrubs can cut, what shrub cannot, the height and everything. So he already pretty much understood everything.
Okay.
So they already, like they're gonna hit the floor running. So. And
From my side, I think we need a vote on that, so Alfredo has the authority to move forward on
yeah,
that.
raise this is for everybody because we
Yeah.
cannot hold it. So
I
raise the
think
motion.
even though it's more than ever, I think waiting a month for Ever to come back and then him just being recovering and then all of a sudden having to do 2 months worth of work because it's all backed up. isn't good.
So
So,
it's in the budget because we have the pest control, so that can, on all the maintenance.
and that's
can balance
included.
it out. That this is something that we couldn't, like handle it ourselves and it's, I think so.
As long as they know it's only for a month that they're.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
so they're already clear, so that's why I say clearly, only come 4 times
Yeah.
at a month.
Okay,
Because that's exactly the minimum that he can offer to do.
I
Okay.
second your motion.
All right.
That is point number 9, landscape contractor. Point number 10, status of water leakage at Clubhouse.
Okay, good, right? Do you second? Okay, perfect. So status on the water leakage at Clubhouse, okay. For the record, Carlos, our handyman, detected the water leakage on July 27 around the shower area and planters were flooded. He started to dig on the planter to detect the origin of the leakage, but the water seems to come from inside of the clubhouse. That was our first, inquiry. So he couldn't go further. It was nearby the janitor. That's what we were, thinking on. And he demolished the part of the slab at the shower area, and we saw that the pipe was in good condition. Carlos, was working around and we couldn't find, the water leakage. So I decided and I proceed to call Miami Shore Plumbing and arrange service to address the issue. The crew arrived and did first the investigation, and they couldn't find precisely the leakage as they told me, and they needed a special crew, which is the water detention. The water was still running, and it took about like a few days to get that arranged. And finally, beginning of the week, I was planning to go out, and the company told me that the water detection crew have an issue. They couldn't, help us out for about, I think, couple of weeks. And I say, well, we have a water leakage, and you guys, as a big company, must have another subcontractor to help you out. So everything turns a little bit, back and forth. And at the end, they decided to, turn on the job, which was very disappointed because I was basically in the middle of it. So I actually called AMG Plumbing, another guy that actually, work in the community for various unit owners. And they found the root of the problem, the original irrigation water system that goes from that point on the entrance to inside for natural water for the irrigation water. It was broken, and he found out that that line is already all corroded, and it's more than 50 years since that pipe is being there. So AMG recommended to replace the entire line as it will create more leakage, because I don't know if you saw the picture, the pipe are completely corroded.
Yeah.
And we first paid for Miami Shore Plumbing, which I think that you saw the bill. It was $450. I paid with my credit card. That was for the emergency, and we didn't get any further with them. So I make a deal with AMG, and he decided to make the whole investigation, leak investigation, and the work. He came here 2 days, and he performed everything, and he find out at the end that the problem wasn't inside of the clubhouse, but he had to open the wall. I don't know if you saw it. I think that Michael showed you. You have to, open because there's some penetration that goes inside of the janitor. And we were thinking that that was according to Miami Shore Plumbing, the first company. So the whole amount was, the whole job was charged of $1,500 for 2 days, labors and material, and he was able to detect the water leakage. It was inside, it was the line that is running from this point all the way to the planters, all the planters, and that was the line that never was renewed, was updated.
Does it go under the pool or is it to the side of the?
No,
pool?
it's going to the side of the clubhouse. So no, that there is an issue here. Michael paid 150 to actually get the inspection and have him come to the site. And after he actually found the issue, he said, okay, I'm gonna charge you $1,500, which we have to deduct 150, which is going to be paid to Michael. And he already know, because I already, talked to him. The invoice, as I sent to you this morning, is $1,500, but you need to deduct 150, which is going to be $1,350. Well, the total that we have to pay to MG.
And this is to them, to
Yeah, to MG, yes,
they're 150
to Michael, exactly. Well, for the record.
When you mentioned how to pay with the credit card, this is the payment with the credit card.
No, the payment for the credit card, which I did, that was for the first company who actually didn't help us to the end. And it was 450 for preliminary inspection. That was from Miami Shore. We are trying, and I'm not guarantee, I'm gonna try because Michael was very disappointed I was away and he was taking care of that situation while I was away. And he told Miami Shore Plumbing that since they turned down the job, so we better get the refund of $450 because that was part of the process. So we don't know because I already, like paid for it. But in the meantime, we're going to dispute because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dispute on the credit card and see if something is happening. If everything goes okay, I probably will tell you,
If not,
well, I think that you better refund my money. And if everything comes, okay, and I win the process, I give you the money to pay to the back to the condominium. So, for the record, this is another evidence on how that practice.
So just for the record, so pay now 450.
Yes.
Look at the dispute. And if
Exactly, because I don't know exactly what is going to be the outcome, because this process, I think I showed you the first pictures, he took videos, he actually had a big,
That was Miami Shores.
Yeah,
Okay.
he removed the plants, but they didn't dig enough to actually find the root of the source, because we saw part of the pipe, but we didn't saw the entire pipe because it was more deep. So this guy did it, and he found, like the breakage, the leakage. So I don't know at this point if that will be considered by the company that, well, the guys came there, the crew was there, they took picture, they worked, they actually did some work, so something has to be paid. I don't know exactly, if that makes sense to you guys, or do you think that we should claim the money back? Because I wasn't happy, I was left out in the middle of the storm, and I just wanted to know and have some solution. Because the detention leak is a special machine that traces the pipe, because we didn't know exactly how the lines were connecting, and we saw from our eyes that the water was coming from under the slab. So I don't know if you saw the video that the water was coming, and that was the impression that something was broken inside of the janitorial, because that's the only water point where we have, near to where the incident was. But happened that the other company find out that it was in one section further, because he opened 7 feet wide. Because they depends on a detention leak crew that work is a subcontractor that work for them. And he actually called me the day that he needed to be here with an emergency. And I say, I don't believe that, because from Friday to Tuesday, you should be able to reply and to tell me, what's going on because water is coming out and I need to actually fix that problem. So they say, I'm sorry, but you need to wait two more weeks. And I say, there's no waiting time. You need to find out a crew. And that was a back and forth, like a half a day. And at the end, they say, we couldn't find any other crew that we are relay on, and therefore we cannot do the job.
You're making the question if they should be receiving anything.
But that's exactly the statement that I'm gonna do on the report, because I think that, they didn't serve us as we wish.
They were called for the meeting. Their answer, whenever they were here, was 2 weeks, which is completely incompatible with an emergency. I'm really fed up with the services provided in Florida.
Well, Joao, you need to understand the culture, and that this is something, like for me, it's also really.
If you put it in the credit card, it's also for the credit card.
Yes.
I think it's the entire.
Yeah.
They
Start that.
even it should be more than the entire. Because they made us lose time, they made us.
No, for sure, everything is gonna be documented, but I mean, the time period is gonna be 90 days as usual required for the bank. And I think in the meantime, I think that they might, credit it back to my account, but I don't know exactly what will gonna be the setting. So what will be the best action? I think that, I just wanted to get my money back because, I actually did it in good faith and, okay, no, I will give you the report and the updates, and then we give you the money back. So for me, seeing this, it was another sample of how bad management have been done, because we spent a lot of money in this renovation Clubhouse, and this is something that is affecting this infrastructure, because it cannot be possible that we did full deck, that we did Clubhouse entirely, that this Clubhouse, stayed 3 years closed and everything was from scratch. And we have a pipe that is had 50 years, under, and we need to remove because it only, yeah, and we know, and if you see the picture, it is a shame that this guy didn't do it, completely, because they are just about to break, because this is the timeline. This is basically the past 2 days. And what to do this, they need to remove the whole entire concrete slab from the whole end. So this is going to be an emergency that is about to happen. We don't know, but better to try, better to, to do it, sooner than later. Well, that starts, like bursting. So chances are that is going to happen very, very, very soon. And he already, because he actually has to go to a special place to buy that pipe, because it's not that all that is a particular pipe, and he actually have the length and say, you guys tell me, I'm gonna put it on a storage, and when you guys are ready to do the job, I can, have the whole crew, because they need to demolish the whole entire perimeter and change that pipe completely. So this is gonna be a project, but bear in mind, because this is gonna happen very soon. Unbelievable.
Yeah, why not just replace it back when everything was dug up? Yeah.
Well, this is something that we can, should consider.
Can we ask for the price? To understand what is.
He actually gave me the price verbally, but there were so many issues on the tables. He was able to give me the price quotation for the 2 sub-meters, the water vault for unit 23 and 24. The job is going to be $1,300. It's going to be $200 per equipment and $900 for the labor, because he needs to dig around, not only to take the access, is also to actually open more space to cut the pipe. Yes, 1,300 for the replacement of the 2 sub-meters on unit 28, everything, yeah. And I think that, oh, no, he passed me, I think I passed you the invoice this afternoon.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so that's the latest, because I was actually pushing him to give me the.
Was that the one with the letters to the owners?
No, that is.
That's separate?
That's a separate,
Okay.
that's a separate topic. Okay, so point 10 is already done.
Okay, that was water leakage. Number 11, maintenance updates.
Okay, we finished painting the water lines, the entrance, hydrants and boilers. We repair and paint and retouch the frontal wood fences of unit 10, 28, and 38. We are going to do the cleaning on the back wall on unit 37 and 36. I think it's Allen and Maria's. And fill the holes in the pathway. I saw it, so there's some, like crap that opens some holes, and we are trying to fill it with gravel. And that will be what we're gonna do. Prepper cleaner. We are scheduled also repair the back fences along building 1 because they are very deteriorating. All building 1, the
On their
fences in the
back
back.
patios?
Yeah, the back patios are really in bad shapes. Right now, unit 10 has some pieces, like fall off. So we're going to see if we can fix them all up together and then do a touch-up paint with the same paint on the back, no inside, outside. So this is scheduling for Saturday 24.
When the workers come on the roofs, would they enter from the back or would they enter from the front to go onto the roof?
No, they're going to enter on the side of the building.
On the side?
Yeah, that's the only access that you have in all buildings. So that's why we needed to have the map, like the plan
Where
of
each
the
thing
work
is.
areas, and we're still waiting.
So-
for that. We didn't see that.
And I appreciate
My-
you for calling that out, Alfredo, because the previous company entered from the backs and the fronts and caused all sorts of damage. So 100% aligned from the sides makes sense.
And that's good, that's confirmed. That's what I was asking, because if we do the work on the fence and then they're going or things
No,
are
I
falling.
was thinking about it, and I always was thinking, on getting, like damage with, tar and paint, and I think that, we still have, and let me see if I don't mistake, because I didn't check, we still have some leftovers of that brown paint, but we need, for all the units on the back, we need at least to have, a couple of gallons to kind of like a touch up, basically, to give it a nice refreshment, at least for now, because this job is gonna take, like 6 months plus. So in the meantime, at least we have something that it looks, like homogenic, and at least it's something that is not gonna cost us, like an arm and a leg.
These refreshments, this actually one area.
It's that, the wood fences, unit 10, unit 28, and unit 38 are the only ones that have the wood fence, the original wood fence in the front of. And this becomes our responsibility to maintain and to refresh. So I took ahead, since we have paint on our maintenance room, so we actually fixed some of the plants that were actually loose, and Carlos came and repair. And what we did is, like refresh it with the paint.
We are doing this refreshment because of the balconies might need some refreshment also. The balconies are not mine. We have, should we do some refreshment on the balconies?
But balconies are considered common areas, limited common areas.
Yeah.
But but because this is a different subject, this is more the front. We're talking about doing some refreshes on the fence that are on the outside, because not even painted inside, because everybody have their own style.
It's solid refreshment, we have the paint, sometimes covers, why not using most colors to do the refreshment on the balconies?
But when you say refreshments of the balcony, you mean what, the pickets, the railing, because
Not the red, the walls, some of them are.
no, what we are doing right now is on that wall that is actually dark, we're doing pressure cleaning, because painting, it's one time for all buildings. Any common area that requires, like refresh on painting, we do. But for unit owners, in some of the cases, if I actually doing some work in my house and damage something that it's on the common elements, I actually, do. And that's exactly what I told Marcela, Unit 10, because they already fixing the wall and the guys work around and make a mess. And she thought that she can have a retouch on the wall. And I say, usually when you do this kind of repair, it's your responsibility to actually match the paint on the wall. I given the template with the matching colors for her to have as a reference, and that is what I actually come to.
I'm not talking about things that we done for the owners, talking about now, this they are very proud, I don't know if it's cleaning or painting.
Pressure cleaner, that's because we actually did it. We don't paint. What we paint is the fence because, it was completely, like required. Pressure cleaner, yes.
Carlos, of our neighbors on the other side.
Yeah, no, definitely. For those moldy walls, pressure cleaner does. What Carlos told me, yesterday is, for him to reach that wall, which is, like 2-story high, he needs to have a device that I don't know. I told him, well, let's go to Home Depot on Saturday and let's find an extension. That's an extension for the pressure cleaner because he cannot be on a ladder and with the hands because that's
Line with the owners and be in the balcony.
I don't know if the balcony have enough protrusion to actually, because I know that this is a giant wall. So he needs to have a huge, device. I think that probably,
And I think Carlos is a huge one because he used to be also years old, there's a huge wall there. He used to have a very high one. Because some neighbors are asking this for a while, for example, there is so that he can't pay because he needs the pressure cleaning. Because we put the pressure cleaning.
No, definitely. He has it, but
I think the one he had is.
it's not long, Manuela, it's not long, so that's why he said clearly, I need a extension, so that's probably cost less than $100. $200, I think it's feasible, so I will probably go and get it for him, so he can actually, like finish that big wall, and whatever wall anyone wants to, see that is completely, like moldy, so we can probably schedule that for service.
I know only because I lived there. I've looked at the balconies of others, but backside of building 3, they're almost all moldy. I think you guys painted yours, or touched yours up.
Yeah.
Building 4, sorry.
And I also have a complaint from, and this is something that we need to raise, doesn't bother me because I'm actually, have my green hedge and I don't look at that part of the patio. Unit 39 have his pavers, like black, and it bothers neighbors, and they already, like took pictures and documented and say, well, this neighbor needs to, take care of the patio because it's completely black.
Like mold or moss or whatever.
Yeah, but that it's by her, not by the community. Not by the community.
Okay, I see.
So,
Also, just in terms of, emails, the board did receive an email from a unit owner after the tree trimming company came, and I wanted to just make sure that that was solidified in the record. When the tree trimmer came, were they cutting all trees or branches across the whole community that touched the roof or the building? That's for you,
oh, you asked me a question. Why you asked me that question?
because you were with them.
Of course, yeah, they cut.
So anything
Yeah.
touching the
And
building?
I think that you pay already on the invoice which is, by the way, still delayed. The guy is still not receiving the payment. So he has a number, and that complaint, listen, I don't need to actually being lectured or being, because I'm, no, I know, but, okay, but, it seems like, no, it seems like the report sounds like, coming after, like few days after that happened. And unfortunately, I don't work in the maintenance company, and I don't have that such a responsibility to be, like nailed down and to be into bits and pieces that I need to actually, but because, the palm trees needed to be cut away from the tree, and that's, it's a goal. My palm trees were all, like completely, like killed. And I actually didn't say anything. I said, wow, you actually did it, like too much. But it's okay, because for me, I was thinking the roofer will have a much better, position of moving around. And, I was able to look on every particular case and say, you need to cut everything away from the roof. And that was the direction. So if they actually cut something else, or he actually broke something else, I didn't see at that moment that happens. I actually have my pictures documented, but for me, after a few days, have that sort of complaint in a very, like neat way, I think it's a little bit too much, because we need to understand that this is for maintenance. They have a purposes over here again, and also have a purposes for the breadth of the roof. So I don't think that it's a major issue. We have a lot of issues here in order to actually make this a particular issue. So
First of all, you need to understand me. So the email was about the possibility of the company to return to this place to fix it. So people were not asking you to take any type of opinion about the work that was done, that was bad done. Clearly, they broke one tree, they cut palm trees by the hour, etc. So I want to address several points you said. First, it was after several days. Yes, we've been out for a while. Then we had invitees in our home. So when the moment came, the email came. We didn't understand the purpose of the email, because the email has only one purpose, which was the work was bad done. There are more even photos.
the only one that,
I let you talk. Can I just finish? The work was bad done. So the request was, can this company be contacted to try to mediate?
yeah, no, but I mean, this is completely irrelevant for me, because that is not exactly something that we should actually give enough importance. I gave the phone number, and you all have the number. If you are actually wants to go and talk to them, you have the number, and you can actually talk to them.
So
Period, bottom line.
you should have answered that to an email.
No, I don't have time to answer that, Joe, because I'm really. No, we actually answered. I think.
You mentioned about being lectured, nobody was lecturing, and you mentioned about.
Yes, it is, because every time that I say something, you always put a point where I actually have to be on a red tape and a lecture. Yes, it is. It is, and I don't want to actually argue and go into all this guy. Listen, I think that we need to have some other topics, important topic, in order to get to that, okay? Because where is the letter that you need to send to the unit 1 that I requested? Where is that? Okay, where is that letter? Where is the letter answer? No, because you actually take the time to point out on things that really trying to disqualify or put me into a situation where your responsibility as a president are not the one. And I'm not going to actually argue with anyone, because I had enough of being scrutinized and zoom out on every detail that I do. I do things, and I think that I actually have the right to actually say something. And I cannot, under any circumstances, I'm going to tolerate being on the needs and pits with you guys, because every time that I do something, you completely disqualify, you completely undermine, and you completely do in your other ways. I cannot work and play on this. I do my job. I do what I need to do. If you have a complaint, you go and then you talk to this guy. I already talked to him, and he's completely glad to do it. This guy did a beautiful job, and I have 3, 4 positive comment about what he did. If he didn't like it, it's his problem. But I think that he actually is doing something that nobody has been done here for many years. And for the sake of a record, I'm being here 24 years. You guys are being here less than me. So please, don't try to compare, don't try to underestimate, and don't try to be over everything that I actually say, because I had enough and I'm trying to work with you guys, and I don't know, and I don't want that to be happen anyway, and that you still instigate it and put it, because that wasn't part of the problem. You brought it up, you take it, okay? You deal with it.
So let me ask you this.
Call the company, end of the story. Call the company and end of the story. Because for everything that you do, you're always trying to find the issue. You always try to find the issue to disqualify.
If you're 2 years, if you're 24 years. So if we simplify the math, that's 1/12. Does my voice count and my opinion count 1/12 of yours?
Well, I think that you are trying to discredit and to disregard everything that I actually been working since day one in January, because everything that I do for the construction and the roof is being actually criticized, scrutinized, and actually undermined. And that's exactly what I'm not accepting if we're gonna go further. So please, I'm not going to go any further with this. Please change the subject and let's try to be civic about it, because I'm trying to contain myself, because I'm not aligned for many things that you guys are doing. And I'm actually trying to actually get my point across, and I'm not gonna waste more time on any of these things that are not productive, okay?
I'd like to talk about it. First of all, I was the one that's in the email. I don't know.
First of all, I don't want to accept, I don't want to say.
There's somebody talking.
Well, there's somebody
You
talking.
need to listen. Sorry.
First of all, I was the one that's in the email. I don't understand why you're attacking Robert. I let you talk. We are not talking about putting everything in the same box. I just make the question, why did this company cut the tree without previous communication for the water? This is happening in the past. There is a owner that complained, and there was an agreement. Any cutting tree or any modification in front of any owner, they want to have the previous information. Secondly, you mentioned several times in the previous meeting that everyone is happy. I say, okay, I'm glad that everyone is happy, but we are a community. Do you agree that someone goes to your house, cut the tree without any information, without any reason, and you say in the next board meeting that everyone is happy? My question to you, operator, did you allow someone to go to your house and do the job they made? And I don't understand why I'm talking about it. I'm talking, I was the one that made the question. Nobody make any complaint, nobody asked you. This is a normal thing. You pay the service. There is something they made, they shouldn't.
Manuela, they don't work for your community, okay? You have to listen and understand.
No, I have
You
to
live here in the United States. This is not a coding plan, I don't feel. This is not a coding country, company, I don't feel. This is a coding company that actually do their job, and they have many years working as a professional, and they do what they need to do, period. They cut my trees and they were excessive, but I say it is okay. Because in your standard, this is not exactly what it is. This is not exactly. It is a standard. The shrub needs to be cut at 6 feet, period. This is already approved in 2020.
Down the tree, get the palm trees in the middle, I don't understand.
My palm trees are palm trees. We're talking about shrubs. Can you actually?
Who gives them this question?
They cannot block this tree because they actually have a cherry picker, a very professional tool that actually fly over. I saw the photo, but I actually don't take responsibility on that because that's, well, that's something really unfortunate. There's something really unfortunate, but you cannot pretend that everybody is going to accommodate to your needs because this is a condominium and your house needs to be cut the white, because that house needs to be cut in a certain way. I don't want to discuss that with you. And I'm sorry that you bring that here because that is not the case. That is not the case. Let's get into that. Let's get into this. You cannot take information from the condominium, from the board, and run out other people because. No, I'm not stopping. Don't make me talk and don't make me go over because I'm sorry. Yeah. Unit 27 told me about information that she shared. Information that she shared, and that it's not happening. Well, so then, no, I'm gonna come down when you guys are stopping this because don't get me to the wrong side. Don't get me to the wrong side. Bueno, okay, you come down too, okay, because everybody spend that time. What do I need to answer you this? I don't need to answer you know why you don't find the plumbing company, huh? Why you don't find the plumbing company? And no, Robert, what I need to make you understand is that we are in sorry all the people that are listening to us because I'm here to do my report and this is all my matter. I don't need to get into all this stupidity because that for me it's not producing.
But when we talk,
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. There might be a curse. This is not, and I have my pictures to document it. So look, don't go into something that is irrelevant. We have so many topics in order to get to that, and that is unfortunate that you still getting into that. Let's get together on this. I'm sorry. I don't want to get into any argument. Don't get me out of my side. Please, come on. Let's keep moving. I want to stop, and I want to stop this conversation because this is irrelevant for me. Call the company and tell them exactly what they're doing. Well, I don't need to. Well, don't challenge me. Don't challenge. Wow, you are getting me out of control. I'm here. I came really nice. I'm agree with you on things, but this is the point that we can, if you want this goes outside. Okay, all right, come on. Yeah, let's go. Let's move out because yeah, it's not fun.
Listen.
Let's move into the next one. No, Robert. Come on, let's go. Let's move into the next
When
subject.
they did not do a good job, did you feel attacked?
Huh?
When Miami
That's a
Shores-
that's a different thing because it doesn't disrupt any property, any common property. So those
So you
two
don't feel
examples,
attacked.
those
That's the same
two examples, I'm out of sight. There's no comparison. So please don't try to bring things that are not belong to this. Let's focus on the conversation. And please don't get into the bad side of me, please. Let's stick to the agenda, and that is what we need to discuss. That is not part of the agenda. The same way that you manipulate the information and go around because you need to give us information about everything that we request. And I'm actually going to send it tonight because you need to actually give me that information and to the whole community. And no.
What does it mean? Don't get on your wrong side.
You don't start getting into my wrong side. Okay? No, I'm not going to explain anything. I don't need to explain anything. You need to just to listen. No, it's not a threat. Okay? It's not a threat. I don't know exactly what it is, but let's keep focused on the agenda. Let's get focused on the agenda.
I'm
Okay?
curious, does that mean
Listen.
I need to take care of my safety? Is that what you mean?
Oh, really? Oh, now you're going to actually, act like you are threatening. I'm telling you right now because
No, I'm
you are
asking you.
poking me and you are getting me to the wrong side. Okay?
Also,
No, well,
complaint from
you feel fine because you are, like supported by people, supported by group, huh? Let's see what's gonna happen. Okay?
Robert, can I suggest something? Once again, remind, nobody's in the board, nobody has authority to go for someone from office out, even if it's a common area, because already talked in the past, we should have a previous communication. If it's possible to put this note, I appreciate it. This is definitely.
That's not running that way, and that exactly, it's not what it is. So completely wrong on the point,
No,
and
we
that's
agreed
exactly.
on that point.
No, we
When-
didn't
when-
agree on that point
when-
because this is
When the
something.
gardener cut, I believe,
Edward.
Edwards,
You know what, this portion of Edward is a common area, it's not his property, and 8 feet is not acceptable, and Joao is telling everyone now override what we actually been discussing for a long time, and he's coming and say, could be 6, could be 8, who knows? No, you need to go back and read the minutes and understand exactly what we have worked, because if you want to change the culture and you're gonna go and flatten everything, you are completely wrong, and people in the community is going to tell you exactly what it is. So please, let's move on that in the subject, and let clear it up. Let's clear it up. Okay, let's clear it up with the guy.
Or 8 feet, the point was prior communication to the owner.
Well, is it not enough what I actually say on the email where the guy was coming here and the job that he's gonna do? So do I need to cut it at their will, at their particular preference? There's no particular preference here, okay? Unless you want in a house. Well, so sorry, Manuela, this is not my job. This is not my job, and I don't want to actually entertain anyone anymore. Sorry. Okay, can we move to the next point? Can we move to the next point? I got enough, and I don't want to hear that anymore.
Do you feel overwhelmed with all that work?
What are you talking about, revenge? Do you see my palm trees? Manuela, come on, please, give me a break. I didn't accept it, but I don't have any choice because this is for safety. We cannot let things, running loose. Well, okay, all right, so let's go. Let's keep moving. Please, let's keep moving. I don't want to actually regurgitate on things that are not going to be constructed. I'm not going to, within this moment, it's not going to take us to any place. So please, let's move on. Let's be more civic. And already, we passed that. I'm going to pass the switch.
So let's look at it this way. You said it's not your job. Do you feel overwhelmed having to manage all these different things?
No, I'm being overwhelmed by all the pickiness that you guys are peculiarly, doing when I actually comes to something that it has to be, on my side.
Did I think?
No, yes, on everything, Robert. And don't get me started on that because I already got it over with. I want to get this. I want to go through this, and please stay focused because this is nothing, as you always say, comparing to all the problems that we have in this condominium. Please, I think that this is personal. Okay.
This is not personal.
Well, it is because for everything it's a lament, it's an issue. Like, okay, Joao, you have your way, I have mine, respect mine, I'm fine.
Your way.
Do what you, no, disrespectful, not disrespectful. I'm not going to tolerate defiance, petulance, arrogance, and controlling. That is what I'm not going to actually, and I'm sorry, you got your point, I got my point, you got your point. Let's get it happen in between.
Fantastic.
We have all our difference, but we need to keep it rolling, like it or not.
This is very respectful, I have to say, as a owner, what I exist here is.
Point number 11.
You are not something.
Point number 11.
You don't see other people, you don't have to cross the line and doing work and you say the people be respectful. Why do you think it's very respectable? I'm sure you've never gonna say someone's doing your job. Stop doing this to the people and the way that they do. Speak to work like this.
So regarding this, let me be clear, I will enter in contact with this company. I will share the photographs that we needed to take. It's absolutely unacceptable, the work that was done in front of our house. Palm trees were cut in the middle, a nice tree was broken and it was left with a broken. And so I will enter in contact. I will tell them what can be done or cannot be done. And let's see from that. It's not.
You're not a company.
I will enter in contact. And by the way, I listened to you shouting for all of these minutes. So depth is highly disrespectful. You made several threats. I'm just telling you what was decided here. By the way, it was your recommendation to enter in contact with the company. I will enter. And obviously the work was inadmissible done like.
Well,
can
for
see.
you, that's for you, that's only for you, because
Yes.
this before I coming 3 times here to the,
And if-
to the community, and he actually
even-
did a good
even-
job in a time manners and a
100%.
good estimate, and you actually endorse it. So for now, it seems like everything changed after he has this issue. I'm sorry, I mean, things happen, and if it happened, well, we need to actually get to the bottom line. Call the people, finding, that he's very nice, he can be willing to come and talk to you the nicest way, but what is done is done. So what we're gonna actually cry over the spilled water? Do you think that I'm going to actually be there monitoring and watching everything? Do you? No, I actually was enough time checking and taking pictures. So for me, it's something that is completely awkward. It's only them, not everyone. From 41 units, only one, and then everything is bad, everything is disaster. I don't believe that. So let's get a survey. Let's be more community. Let's get a survey and see exactly what it is, because this cannot be from one point that actually have more credibility. So sorry, that exactly is what my point is, and I didn't give it the relevance because I have so many things to do that I cannot compromise. This is
That's
voluntary. Huh?
That's why I asked.
Well, I'm overwhelmed because you are not doing the job that you need to do. And there's so many people here that are doing exactly what they need to do. And you say, oh, well, some people work more than others. You cannot say or even think that I actually, doing something wrong, because I can take you the whole community and put you in front of you and see exactly what it is, because people are watching. So for that reason, please, Robert, have a little sense of respect and don't try to challenge, because I know exactly what is the way that you're going, and you like to go and pocket all the time. I'm not going to, and I'm not going to let you, and I'm not treating you, but I'm telling you right away, please stop that, because we need to actually keep this thing going in a fashion manner with courtesy and with civic. So please don't get me, see that I was actually out of my mind after 2 hours of meeting. No, I'm actually focused on what it is. I provide the report. You actually open your computer and you have your budget 22. You have the panel, the electrical panel. This is work. This is something that I actually care for the community, not talking and do nothing, because between January and August, you ask how many things I accomplished and how many things you guys are accomplished. You actually need to answer that instead of focusing on getting my problems to be, like something out of thing. So I don't want to compare with anyone, because I know exactly who I am and I don't need to care. So that's why I'm here, because I'm carrying my community. I'm not bullshit, and I'm not actually giving anything. So please, Robert, be respectful and trying to keep focus on what it is. We are all equal. You are not president, and you are not the VP and the treasurer. Everybody here have equal power. Remember our mission statement. So please keep in mind, or I'm going to give you a copy for you to read it back.
It's good comparison.
Okay, great.
Enjoy.
Great. So let's go, because
Let me read the message that we just got. Why is not threatening the president and telling him what to say or think? This is a message from one of the owners. Let me tell you, you've been highly disrespectful. I need
highly disrespectful. What is the reason why I highly disrespectful, Joao?
you shout, you threaten people, you point the finger at them. It's unbelievable. You tell when the conversation starts and when the conversation ends.
And what is that related to the accomplishment that I actually did for the community? Oh, okay, so
if the accomplishment of this board.
is your purpose is record something?
Speak until Orlando, but I'm not shouting until Orlando. So if
Well, you
the
did
accomplishment-
You did that, yes, I can remember.
If the accomplishments of the shout, I will shout very loud. So this is very disrespectful. It's critical that.
Joao, it's not what it is. It's not what it is.
Let's close this topic. but
Okay,
This is already taken care of.
okay, right.
Cannot be said.
All right.
I don't believe I asked you what you accomplished since January.
So
That's not,
meter
not
replacement.
on the record. So I'm glad the community is in love with the maintenance. Number 12, water usage report for July.
Think that you missing number 12.1.
Yeah, water usage report for July, and then underneath that is 12.1 and 12.2.
Okay, we still have the same high water users for unit 6, 13, 25, and 39. I forward you the letters since we failed to write the letters to the unit owners. We're supposed to have, like last report that I did, right? I actually, it's on the meeting minutes, it's also on the agenda. So unit 6 have the same consumption of 283 gallons average. It's a 3.4 times from the actually average, which is 83 gallons. So unit 13 have 273 gallons. It's like 3.2 times the usage. Unit 25, 339 gallons. That it's
from the back, from the dock.
I don't know, but no, this is a clean water because this is the water that we actually count. And then we have unit 39, which is something really incredible because it seems like in the last reading, it goes to 555 gallons. This is 6 times the average, and she is not even living there. So,
Same with 25.
but 25 comes and goes.
But you
At least there's some people,
yeah.
but Sylvia doesn't come often to the property, and she is using a pier that is using 6 times, almost 7 times the average water, and the average water, per day, it's 83 gallons. So for me, I already wrote the letters. If you guys consent on that, we need to send it as soon as possible because Saturday, what I'm planning to is to send Carlos to first do the inspection and figure it out if it's a water closet, if it's sinks running, something that it's making this, like consume a lot. And so it's been already more than 3 months that we are actually wasting this amount of water. So we need to take action. And I think Saturday is the day that we need to schedule. I think the best expedite way is to send it out on email. We can probably send it, through letters. I can probably stop by and print out and knock at the doors. I don't know how you can communicate with Sylvia and let her know that Carlos will be here from 7 to 4. I mean, I put at the time of 10
to 3.
10 to 3, it's a decent time for, you to access to the units and, like observe what's going on, because from that, we need to take a decision. We need to take an action.
And he's going inside the units just to see if there's an obvious.
Yeah, he's the only one. I'm not, nobody except Carlos.
But
which
he's
is the
not
main.
like digging into anything, he's just.
No, he needs to take some
See.
picture, he needs to listen, he needs to observe visually if it's a running water, a running toilet, leaking, like sink, whatever. So that needs to be done, needs to be, observed before we call a company I think that this is going from the owner side because this is inside. And they need to repair this ASAP because the following reader, if it shows higher, so then we.
So that would be at their expense.
Yeah. That would be at their expense. Yeah, they need to fix that.
Yes, I'm reading them. I'm good with the letters,
Okay.
just so that they can get sent out if it's happening this
You
Saturday.
send it, I can print it, I can knock at the door. I think the Kabbalah Center, Emmy, I can probably send that because she managed, 4 units, unit 6 and unit 13, so she can accommodate with them. And unit 39, I don't know what, and unit 25, which is Angela. I don't know if she's there. I think that she is on WhatsApp or I can probably send
She's
that.
no longer in this meeting.
Okay,
She was here earlier.
You probably have to send those email, and I can probably approach to email and give the give the letter to them. So
Okay, so that's that. And then flock camera
Okay.
status.
no, the meter replacement, I think I already spoke to you guys. I
Yes.
have the estimate, you have the estimate for you guys approved, it's $1,300, $200 per sub meter, and $900 for labor. And as soon as we agree, so he can start working on that. Regarding of the flow camera, the camera is finally connected and running. They came last Monday.
It's operational.
August 12th, hold on, to replace the power box because there was something going on, even though they saw that there was light up and there was power from our electrician, he powered it up. So something was wrong with the power box that they have, their equipment. So it's free of charge because this is part of the maintenance. And the support team is still working on providing the final documentation of the city permit as I'm being requested, and that this have like things issue and being changed as we find out that wasn't exactly the right submission because the equipment was completely different. So they are working on that, and hopefully by the end of this week they will provide the information, the documents they submit to the city, so we can have it for our records in our archive.
Excellent. And last one, Unit 30 non-compliance.
Okay. I think it's clear, Robert, and this is something that I need to say that we, for some reason, we never pay attention and we never, been proactive on getting things accomplished and done quickly. So this is a matter of something that needed to be, happened, like very soon. But as Joel said, we needed to have lawyers' involvement because we didn't know how to add on collecting things on the back of the patio, which might seem okay since this is a limited common area and the condominium have the power of access or get actions into that. So last conversation, Joao mentioned something important. We need to bring that to the lawyer. Where is the answer? Tell me.
I believe it was brought to the lawyer. I'll double check.
I never seen the communication. I never received anything regarding to that. And I think I'm part of the board. So I never saw any communication. Okay, but I never received any notification regarding to that. So, and also I need to understand how we're gonna reply to Unit 1 regarding of the letter of reaching the attorneys without proper channel of communication. They need to reach us because the attorneys work for the association, not for the unit owners. So that was a violation. And you know exactly that happened. And we are clear that we have a restriction that you actually mentioned many times, every time that I'm trying to reach the lawyer, but some other people outside of the board, they actually have, and they are allowed to do it. So that is part of the problem that we have, and we need to address it. And that it's been going on since few weeks that I've been telling. So things are quietly passed and put it under the rug because they don't want to actually get this, discussed because we don't want to actually look bad in front
You
of
made your
everyone
point.
because
You
we are
made your
loving
point.
peace. We're loving peace,
Enough.
but we don't take,
You made
no,
your point.
it's not enough, Robert. You need to listen.
You made your point.
Robert, this is Anna,
Can I
and
speak?
I need to say one word in regarding to what Alfredo just said. Do I have the floor?
Sorry,
Robert?
go ahead.
I said, do I have the floor?
Yes.
Okay, in regarding to what Alfredo just said about us contacting the lawyer, you guys send us a letter from the attorney. So therefore, we had to answer back to the attorney. So once again, Alfredo is giving false information like he likes to do.
And we were never contacted by.
And we were never the board never came to us. You went directly through the attorney. At that time, we started answering to the attorney.
Thank you for the information. And, you know, in that point, you know, there's both correct points. The
That's not the
attorneys,
right point, because that actually having, and a conversation that I actually happened on agenda that was published.
Stop interrupting
But,
people. Robert was talking, let Robert talk.
But,
the lawyers,
We cannot have.
the lawyers work for the association, you're correct.
Okay.
And in
The
that,
agenda, what was the agenda? What was the issue? The issue was they saw that point brought it into the agenda back because we needed to have a response. And that's when they reached the lawyer, not the other way around, because the lawyer in previous occasion sent a letter to them in the first place, not in the second place. Is when they saw the second point on the agenda that was consecutively running, because this subject is still not complete.
because you know, there were board members who repeatedly asked for that point to be removed, and you didn't remove it.
But why it wasn't removed and why wasn't there? Because that wasn't answered correctly, at least for what we
According
needed
to
to
you.
hear from the community, because that answer never being approached in front of everyone. So that is exactly the correct answer, Robert.
You equals community.
Okay.
Got it. It is now 8:11. We went through the agenda items. Thank you all for your engagement. An engaged owner is an informed owner, so we thank you for your participation. We wish you a wonderful evening. 8:12, I called this meeting to an end.